Council Caucus to order for May 23rd, 2016. We have one public hearing this evening. If the clerk would please read.
Public hearing number 1 regarding a moratorium on taxi licenses.
Under original consideration, we have 17 items. Agenda item number 1.
Item number 1 under original consideration, an ordinance amending Chapter 144 of the Schenectady City Code regarding multi-year dog licenses, introduced only with a resolution calling for a public hearing on June 13, 2016.
Discussed in committee without objection on consent. Item number 2.
Item number 2, a resolution authorizing the Commissioner of Finance to deposit and increase the capital budget code HY 417083-201-023 that has been designated specifically for the CHIPS and EWR fund by the amount of $1,169,016.55.
Discussed in committee without objection on consent. Item number 3.
Item number 3, a resolution establishing fees for permits related to the Chapter 138 of the City Code.
That was also discussed in committee without objection on consent. Item number 4.
Item number 4, a resolution authorizing the sale of 414 Schenectady Street.
Discussed in committee without objection on consent. Item number 5.
Item number 5, a resolution authorizing the sale of 1580 Carrie Street.
Discussed in committee without objection on consent. Item number 6.
Item number 6, a resolution authorizing the sale of a vacant lot on Vranken Avenue.
And that was discussed in committee without objection on consent. Item number 7.
Item number 7, a resolution adopting the Workplace Violence Prevention Policy and Workplace Violence Policy Statement.
Discussed in committee without objection on consent. Item number 8.
Item number 8, a resolution authorizing a tax certiorari for 1011 Union Street.
Also discussed in committee without objection on consent. Item number 9.
Item number 9, a resolution authorizing a tax certiorari for 13 North College Street.
Discussed in committee without objection on consent. Item number 10.
Item number 10, a resolution authorizing a tax certiorari for 1675 Avenue B.
Discussed in committee without objection on consent. Item number 11.
Item number 11, a resolution confirming an appointment to the Affirmative Action Advisory Board.
Discussed in committee without objection on consent. Item number 12.
Item number 12, a resolution appointing Richard Anticol, Lori Selden, Chris Sparagan, Jeffrey Morlang, and Jeffrey Denoyer to the Board of Directors of the Downtown Special Assessment District and Downtown Schenectady Improvement Corporation.
Discussed in committee without objection on consent. Item number 13.
Item number 13, a resolution appointing Anthony Ward to the Golf Course Advisory Committee.
Discussed in committee without objection on consent. Item number 14.
Item number 14, a resolution celebrating and honoring the contributions of veterans on Memorial Day.
And that was taken out of order and presented earlier this evening at the Mount Pleasant ceremony. And item number 15.
Item number 15, a resolution recognizing Schenectady County Senior Citizen of the Year Award winners.
And that is also discussed in committee without objection on consent. That will be taken out of order, and Mr. Mutuvaran will present that. Item number 16.
Item number 16, a resolution recognizing May as Motorcycle Safety and Awareness Month.
Discussed in committee without objection on consent. It will be taken out of order, and Mr. Riggi will present.
Item number 17, a resolution celebrating the first woman's honor flight in New York State.
And also discussed in committee without objection on consent, and that will be taken out of order, and Ms. Porterfield will present that resolution. Under contract and supply, we have 2 items. Agenda item number 18.
Item number 18, under contract and supply, a resolution awarding the bid and contract for the hot in-place asphalt recycling pursuant to countywide bid to Highway Rehabilitation Corporation.
Discussed in committee without objection on consent. Item number 17.
Item number 19, a resolution authorizing the mayor to enter into an agreement with Empire Paving of Schenectady, Inc. for the annual street improvement program.
And also discussed in committee without objection on consent. I have nothing else to come before the City Council caucus meeting. I will ask for a motion to adjourn. So moved by Mr. Kosher, seconded by Mr. Ferrari. All in favor? Aye. We are adjourned. I will now call the City Council meeting to order for Monday, May 23rd. I will ask you to rise for the invocation from Carlos Caraballo, Church of God.
For I know the thoughts that I think toward you, says the Lord, thoughts of peace and not of evil, to give you a future and a hope. Jesus, we thank you. We come before you. We ask that your Spirit be in this meeting to help us to take all care of business that has to be taken care of. In the name of Jesus Christ, amen, amen.
I will now ask the Schenectady High School ROTC to post the colors. And if I may ask Charles Miriam to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance this evening. To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. If the clerk would please call the roll.
Mr. Kosher? Ms. Porterfield? Mr. Ferrari? Mr. Palomini is excused. Mr. Riggi? Mr. Mudavaran? Ms. Perazzo?
Present. We have 3 out of order resolutions this evening, and our first ceremonial resolution will celebrate the first Women's Honor Flight in New York State, and I'll ask our color guard to stay in place for this resolution. Ms. Porterfield will present.
Invite the women veterans behind the rail, please.
Thank you, Carlos.
Madam President?
You have the floor.
Thank you. A resolution recognizing the first all-women honor flight in New York State. Whereas the National Honor Flight Network is a nonprofit organization dedicated to providing veterans with honor and closure by transporting veterans to Washington, D.C. to visit and reflect at the memorials for the wars in which they served. The inaugural flight took place in May 2005. And whereas the first Patriot flight from Albany, New York took place on April 26, 2008 with approximately 30 World War II veterans and guardians on board. And whereas, in order to recognize female contributions in the military and shadow stereotypes regarding their service, the National Honor Flight Network debuted the first all-women honor flight from Cincinnati, Ohio in September 2015. And whereas on May 14, 2016, the first all-women Patriot flight, honor flight in New York State, themed "Because She Served Too," departed Albany Airport as only the second such flight in the nation to recognize the contributions of female veterans of foreign wars and organized by Patriot Flight Incorporated of the Capital District. And whereas on board this historic flight were 30 women veterans, including 3 U.S. Army veterans from Schenectady, SSG Michelle Bergeron, FFC E7 Angel Dancy, and SGT E5 Yvette Mortimer. Also on the flight were 4 Gold Star mothers, 4 Blue Star mothers, and 9 guardians. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Mayor, Gary R. McCarthy, and City Council do hereby pause in their deliberations to recognize the first all-women honor flight for veterans from New York State, and hope that in doing so, more people will recognize these generations of women veterans as trailblazers in the United States Armed Forces. May we also take this opportunity to say thank you for your service. Madam President.
Okay, just a little housekeeping before you speak. So Ms. Porterfield moved it, Mr. Mutaveran seconded it. All those in favor? Aye. Thank you.
I just want to say people have no idea what an honor it is to serve as a female in the United States military. Going back to 1978 when females weren't even looked at as being a good thing. I still took it, I did it, and you know what? This right here makes it all worthwhile to be recognized by the city in which I live in. Thank you.
I will ask that everyone stands as we retire the colors. Thank you. Our second ceremonial resolution recognizes and honors our very own Shirley Radine as the Schenectady County Senior Citizen of the Year, along with the other well-deserved awardees today. And we'll ask you to all come up. Mr. Mutaveran will present this resolution.
Madam President,
You have the floor.
a resolution recognizing Schenectady County Senior Citizen of the Year Award winners. Whereas each year, the Schenectady County Department of Senior and Long-Term Care Services seeks candidate at least 60 years of age who has dedicated their time and energy to organization or projects in the community that have enhanced the lives of others. And whereas this year, over 20 candidates were nominated for this prestigious award based on their contribution to the local community, with only 2 recognized as co-recipients, Louise Atkinson and Shirley Redeem. And whereas Louise Atkinson, a 46-year resident of the city of Schenectady, with almost as many years as active, volunteer for such organization as the Home Furnishing Program, working to provide high-quality, donated household furnish to the needy family, as well as literacy and adoption program. And whereas Shirley Redeem, a lifelong resident of the city of Schenectady, has spent her life fighting to eliminate racism and promoting gender equality and combating domestic violence, and has been a trailblazer in her own right as the first woman and first person of color to be elected to the school board for Schenectady City School District. And whereas the county also recognized Mr. Charles Merriman Jr., born in the city of Schenectady and a veteran of the Second World War, by awarding him the Lifetime Achievement Award based on his 70 years of volunteer services to our community. Now therefore be it resolved that the Mayor, Carrie R. McCarthy, the City Council do hereby pause in their deliberation to recognize Mr. Charles Merriman Jr. as the winner of the Lifetime Achievement Award and to congratulate Louise Atkinson and Shirley Redeem as the co-recipients of the Schenectady County Senior Citizen of the Year. Thank you. Congratulations, Madam President.
Moved by the presenter, seconded by Mr. Riggi. All those in favor? Aye.
And I just personally want to thank all three of you for the tremendous contribution you're making towards our community. Thank you.
Does they want to speak, John?
I will speak.
Yes.
I thank you very much for this honor. This is my city, and so anything I can do to make it better from the day I started out, everything I've done has been because I love Schenectady, and it's a great place to live. Where'd she go? She said no. Where'd she go?
Thank you.
Congratulations once again to Ms. Radine, Ms. Atchison, and Mr. Merriam. Our third ceremonial resolution recognizes May as Motorcycle Safety and Awareness Month, although every month should be Motorcycle Safety and Awareness Month. Mr. Riggi, I'll ask you to present.
Come on up. Come on inside the rail. Now we have security here. Hi, Carrie. Good, how are you? As we know, we have the nice weather coming, and this is apropos to have a resolution for our two-wheel friends. Hi, Ray. Nick? Madam President.
You have the floor.
Thank you. It's a resolution recognizing the month of May as Motorcycle Safety and Awareness Month. Whereas each May, the National Highway Transportation and Safety Board commemorates Motorcycle Safety and Awareness Month as a means to raise drivers' awareness of motorcycles and prevent motorcycle crashes, injuries, and deaths. And whereas fatal crashes with motorcycles are on the rise, and helmet usage is on the decline, making it imperative for all motorists to be able to anticipate and respond to motorcyclists so that fatal collisions may be avoided. And whereas motorcyclists account for 14% of all total highway fatalities, despite motorcycle registrations representing 3% of all registered vehicles in the United States. And whereas it is important for motorists to understand the safety challenges facing motorcyclists, such as size and visibility, as well as riding practices like downshifting and weaving that may enable them to anticipate and respond to motorcyclist behavior. Now therefore be it resolved that the Mayor, Carrie R. McCarthy, and City Council do hereby pause in their deliberations to recognize the month of May as Motorcycle Safety and Awareness Month in the City of Schenectady, and to remind all drivers and riders that we all share a responsibility of keeping the roads safe. Madam President, I move this resolution.
Moved by the presenter, seconded by Ms. Porterfield. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Turn this over to Nick Barber, my high school classmate.
Thank you, Councilman Riggi. Thank you, Mr. Mayor, City Council members, for taking your time from your busy schedule to give us awareness and give the public awareness on motorcycle safety and vehicle safety. You know, the one statement you always hear is, "I didn't see you," you know, and it happens very often because motorcycles are smaller and different lighting systems. Where's Joe Piazza? Joe, did you do that to me? I'd like to read a statement from Program Manager Ben Zadrozny of the New York State Motorcycle Safety Program. Ben couldn't be here because he's on a family vacation. Bill Schaff from the Patriot Guard Riders couldn't be here because of many commitments, but can you blame him with the weather tonight? This is from Ben from the New York State Motorcycle Safety Program. Through the New York Safety Motorcycle Safety Program, the Motorcycle Safety Foundation offers training courses to match a variety of skill levels and riding experience, said Program Manager Ben Zadrozny. Whether you are new to motorcycling or have been riding for years, training is an essential part of being safe on the road. The best place for a new rider to start once they've made the decision to ride is by completing an MSF basic rider course. If you are already a motorcyclist with basic riding skills and have been riding on a motorcycle permit for a year, then you may wish to take the one-day MSF Basic Rider Course 2, license waiver on your own motorcycle. Upon successful completion of either the Basic Rider Course or the Basic Rider Course 2, LW, you will receive a motorcycle road test waiver. The majority of the New York State residents becoming motorcyclists are enrolling in an NYSMP training course. It's the fast track to obtaining a motorcycle license and will give you the satisfaction of knowing you have gone the extra mile to develop your own safe riding techniques. And visit their website. I'll give this to you, Councilman Riggi. And I was so happy to be here because I want to thank the bikers and the riders that are here. That some of them are independent, some of them are Patriot Guard riders, which I am, and Ray. Any other Patriot Guard riders here? Ray, and yeah, raise your hand. There's a few of us. And the Patriot flight that was mentioned earlier, the first females on the Patriot flight, I saw Councilman Ed there, and he was with Ed Perkins flying to Washington. The Patriot Guard organization funded the entire honor flight, this past one, through raffles and fundraising at a cost of $25,000. So I'm proud to be a member of the Patriot Guard, and the others that are here, I thank them for coming. We want to thank you for this resolution and proclamation.
Thank you.
Stay safe. Stay safe.
Thank you. I will ask one of the council members to bring the clipboards up for me. Mr. Palameni is out this evening, so the usual retriever of the clipboards. As stated, we have one public hearing this evening. It's regarding a 30-day moratorium on taxi licenses. I'm sorry? That's on Memorial Day. It's on Memorial Day? Was that an earlier decision?
Okay. I thought it was on order. All right, my mistake.
Yeah. Okay, so we have one public hearing this evening. It's regarding a 30-day moratorium on taxi license. I do not have anyone signed up to speak. Okay, and your name? Okay, come on up, Gary.
How you doing today? I'm Gary from Electric City Taxi. I brought a couple of the other owners from the other cab companies. I'm glad you guys took into consideration the raise, the increase, and also the medallions. There's been a lot of newspaper advertisements, things trying to get you guys help. I know you guys want the taxis to be a little more respectable, and we asked for an increase in also the cap. So I don't know what you guys have decided, but I think if you look in the records of other cab companies, you can't go in those towns. They're putting a cap on them for the amount of cabs that are in the town because there's just too many. I mean, unfortunately, from the 1st of the month to the 5th of the month, you need 29,000 cabs in this town. But after that, it slows down, and there's just too many cabs in this town. I mean, there's I got another guy here from another company also agrees there should be another cap on it. I got another gentleman from another cab company also needs a cap. I got the owner from Capitol Taxi also says that there should be an amount of cabs that are given out in this town. So I hope you guys took it into consideration. I hope you vote for us because we really need your help to keep what's in Schenectady in Schenectady. I've been here for 50 years myself, and like that lady stated, I love Schenectady. I'm here. I want to stay here. But unfortunately, without your guys' help, it's going to push us out. So that's my speech. I thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so I have no one else signed up to speak. I will declare the hearing closed. We'll move on to approval of the minutes from May 9th. Moved by Mr. Kosher, second by Mr. Vranken. All in favor? Aye. If the clerk would please read communications and petitions.
Under communication presented to the City Council for Monday, May 23rd, 2016, under the category of official, from the mayor, a list of appointments dated May 23rd, 2016. A letter from City Engineer Chris Wallen dated May 23rd, 2016, recommending the contract for annual street improvement program be awarded to Callahan Industries. A letter from Chris Wallen dated May 23rd, 2016, recommending the contract for the Houghton Place asphalt recycling to be awarded to Highway Rehabilitation Corporation. Under general, there are none. Under petitions, there are none.
Thank you. And privilege of the floor regarded to the legislative agenda. I do not have anyone signed up to speak, so I will declare that portion of the meeting closed. I'll entertain a motion to approve the legislative agenda, moved by Mr. Kosher, seconded by Mr. Ferrari. All those in favor? Aye. Thank you. And we'll move to privilege of the floor regarding general city business. I have Bob Becker signed up to speak.
Good evening, Mayor, Mr. President. The City Council, thank you for coming to Mount Pleasant Services there. I just want to give everybody what's going on for the remainder of the week. This is our 10-day session that we had. Tomorrow is the Polish American Vets at the Hamburg Street Cemetery. If it's bad weather, you'll be at St. Adalbert's Church. Wednesday is Scotia's Parade, starting at 6 o'clock. Thursday is Rotterdam Parade, starting at 6 o'clock. Friday is Niskayuna services, starting at 10 o'clock at Niskayuna High School. Saturday is when the veterans and the business in the community puts about 12,500 flags on Certiorari National Cemetery, and we do it uniformly, and we do it in less than 2 hours. And Monday, we have 4 services in this area here. The first one is at 10:30 at Vale Cemetery. We'd love to have everybody there. And 11 o'clock, or just after 11, will be at Veterans Park. And then we also have one at the V Corners in Glenville, which is the Glenville services. And then 2:30 in the afternoon is the Rotterdam services. And then Tuesday, we pick the flags up in Certiorari National Cemetery. So we have a long week, and we love to have all you come, and the general public, we love to have you. So I thank you very much.
Thank you. Anthony Carrata.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, City Council, Madam President. Before I get to speak on what I want to speak on tonight, I just want to praise the fire department for a couple of things. One, last Monday evening over here at Center City, I was taking to finish up some TASC classes. The fire alarm went off. I'd like to praise the fire department and the cops to make sure, everybody got out safe and all that. And I'd also like to say I wish our fire person that got hurt in the fire call that he makes a speedy recovery. Also, Saturday, right in front of here, City Hall, 12:30 to sometime in the afternoon, City's Research in Proctor's there had a thing for bikes, bless the bikers, and free food for the community. Now, what I'd like to speak on is this thing called rehab the buildings. Now, I understand for safety reasons, maybe structural reasons or whatever, that you knock down buildings. I can understand it. Take safety reasons for the city engineers and people in the community. I understand it. But when you have people in the community that have skills in carpentry, electrical, like with the lights, and painting, because I have a friend on Facebook, and I met him, that does carpentry, helps build houses around here, and work with the city engineers to rehab some of the buildings. Because the way I look at it is, I've been walking through numerous neighborhoods, and I see some buildings that could be rehabbed. But when people rehab, work with city engineers, we have rehab some of these buildings, instead of knocking them down, they take pride in that. Now, what happens when somebody takes pride in work they do? It's a ripple effect. Like, if you take a rock on a still lake and let it skip, there's ripple effects. Now, what happens with the ripple effects? People take pride in their houses, their lands, their neighbors, and the ripple effects is a positive effect. It goes out, and with the positive ripple effects here, if you will, people take pride. When they take pride in something, what happens? There's less criminal activity, less criminal element, less gangs, less drugs, less city desirables running amok. When the ripple effect, people take pride in something, rehab building, or other things in the neighborhood or city, that criminal element leaves. I urge the council and the mayor to work with people that have skills in carpentry, what have you, work with city engineers to rehab the buildings. Because that would benefit not just the city, but everybody. The ripple effects I talk about, and where with the criminal elements and all that. That's the ripple effects that we need, and the key to rebuild and reshape this city.
Thank you, Mr. Corrado. Marva Isaacs.
Madam President, Mr. Mayor, City Council. Monday is garbage day for Hamilton Hill, some parts of Hamilton Hill. Garbage is being put out from Friday afternoon. And the dogs and the squirrels have it all over the street. I think code enforcement should see that these people put the garbage out Sunday night, Sunday evening, because it's making a mess of the city. Next thing, there is so much garbage on Albany, between Albany and Bacchus. All the hookers are out there, and they leave the mess out there. And something has to be done. We can't be cleaning and next day it's looking like you never touched it. It's ridiculous. Hamilton Hill Neighborhood Association will be having the block party on June 25th. And I hope to see everyone there. Thank you.
Thank you. Mary McLean.
I moved to Schenectady 38 years ago this month. It was a good move. Geographically, Schenectady is a great place. How many cities have a beautiful river running through it? Academically, the learning is here for the taking. Historically, it has a uniqueness with bragging rights. Culturally, The community constantly offers stimulating and fun events. Legislatively, it gets a failing grade. How do I know that? One of the very first things I did when I moved to Schenectady was to attend a city council meeting. I have been an observer and listener of the process since that first day. Over the past 4 years, the decisions made in this chamber have been the worst in my experience, People who use profanity are conversational cripples. People who lie are cheaters. Taxpayers got cheated when council passed waivers for building permits. That legislation means a financial loss to the city's treasury. Several years ago, a contractor was lying about the footage he claimed for his projects. He wanted to save money on the building permits. The city dragged him into court. What council did 2 weeks ago, legislatively, was give away the entire permit. At the same meeting, council voted to sell one house to 3 people with the same last name. Can they individually request a waived building permit for the same house? And what about the councilman who proposed the initial legislation, voted for the legislation, and made sure that the package included waivers for the apartments? He owns 8 apartments in the city of Schenectady. Folks, you should be the ones in handcuffs. Thank you.
Thank you. I have no one else signed up to speak, so I will declare privilege of the floor closed. And I will move on to a slightly misplaced committee reports by our council. Do we have any committee reports? Mr. Kosher.
Just touch base on one, if I may. Next couple of weeks, we have a call for a public hearing for the dog licensing. It was a little vague as far as what the public hearing is about. If I could just talk on that very quickly. What we're looking to do is, instead of having to renew our dog licenses, our permits every single year, we're looking to have that expire on the date that the rabies vaccination expires for your dog as well. There are many municipalities locally that are doing it, and statewide, and it is allowed New York State to do this. There won't be any reduction in the fee or the rate that we're paying to the city of Schenectady, but it will certainly enable us to have our dogs licensed for a longer period of time. And again, help alleviate a little of the workload that our clerk's office is doing, sending out reminder notices and trying to keep track of those folks who have not paid and then sending out another notice to them. I just think it's going to make it more convenient to have our dogs registered and licensed, and again, a good way to keep track of them. So there won't be any loss of revenue, as we had some discussed or thought it would be, because you will be paying the same amount to the city. But again, this will enable us to do it over a longer period of time, again, expiring on the date of the rabies vaccination. Thank you.
Thank you. Other committee reports? Anyone? Okay, we will then move right into miscellaneous business of the council. Mr. Riggi.
Madam Chair, I just have an announcement to make. The Bellevue Preservation Incorporated will have its monthly meeting Thursday, June 9th, 7 p.m. at St. Paul's Episcopal Church, Fairview Avenue. Bellevue neighborhood-wide garage sale is Saturday, June 4th, and Sunday the 5th, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. A list of location of participants, along with items available can be picked up at Bellevue Reformed Church at the corner of Broadway and Genesee Street. So if you're interested in garage sales, the 4th and 5th in Bellevue is when it will be. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Ms. Porterfield?
Thank you. I just wanted to mention about the groundbreaking of the Joe Allen Apartments that took place on May 5th. I neglected to mention at the last council meeting. So it was really wonderful. The community really came out and supported, and all the people who were to help put that project together. So if you drive by now, you can see that it's just basically an empty space, and so in just a few months, we'll be seeing actually apartment buildings going up there. So it's really exciting to see that revitalization going on there on the corner of Albany and Hewlett Streets. Also, the Affirmative Action Advisory Board had a meeting this past Thursday, and they hosted Mary Cheeks, who is the general manager for the Rivers Casino. So she came to talk about some MWBE participation. And going forward, she has suggested, and the board will be working with her on doing a couple of meetings, first with vendors, so that people who want to do business with the casino can find out how they do that, how they sign up. And additionally, to have a meeting within the community to explain the other employment opportunities that will be available at the community for residents of the community. So as this moves forward and they solidify their dates, I'll be bringing the information back so that people can attend the meetings and find out more about how they can participate. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Kosher?
Again, I'd just like to thank the council for their support of the summer youth employment funding that we voted on a couple weeks ago from CDBG. Glad to announce that the county received in excess of the 450 applications. That was our target. So there is a waiting list established for that. But our most important need right now we are continuing to look for work sites for some of our youth. They continue to do job interviews. A lot of our 14 through 18-year-olds are coming down to the county for their very first interview for the most part. And we're really searching in need of job sites. So if anybody listening out there, any of our small businesses that are in need of some additional support, looking to hire youth, and again, we'd be glad to partner with them. The county takes full responsibility with them. We do the workers' compensation. We have a job coach with them, and of course, we have supervision. So we're looking for the 6-week program, a minimum of 20 hours a week, and we're looking to start on July 5th through August 16th. So again, if anybody knows of any local businesses that might want to participate, please contact Jen Bargy over at SJTA, and they'll be glad to work with you on that. I just want to thank the folks who participated the past week at the Woodlawn Neighborhood Garage Sale. We had over 190 homes participated through the weekend. It was a great event, and thank you to those folks who supported the Woodlawn Park. They raised nearly $5,000 on garage sale items, which is quite incredible. And again, thank you to Chad Putnam and Spiro Zulis and the rest of that group over there at the Woodlawn Park Redevelopment Committee, and of course the Woodlawn Preserve as well. So we thank everybody for their support on that. And finally, I know the little thing of that, I just want to thank everybody for voting on the school budget last week. I think it was important that it was a resounding yes vote. Over 75% approved not only the budget but the capital project at Central Park. And congratulations to the two candidates, Kathy Lewis and Ann Riley, who have won re-election, and of course to William Rivas, who did a nice job, an outstanding young man, first shot at running for a citywide position, and I think you're going to hear more about him in years to come. But again, thank you on behalf of the school district. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Ferrari?
Again, I just want to take a moment to congratulate the men and women who were awarded the various awards for the Schenectady Police Department's Valor Day. It was such a moving ceremony, and it was a great honor to be there. And also I want to thank Commissioner Bennett for his moving speech. You're right, we need to tell these men and women that they're appreciated and that they're loved, and to remind them of that. So I want to thank you for that also, Commissioner. And again, as the holidays are approaching, please take time to remember those who have lost their lives for the defense of our freedom. Thank you.
Mr. Mutivaran?
Thank you. Just a quick reminder for the folks out there, tomorrow is Grievance Day. And again, for the people who who think that their assessment is too high, this is your opportunity. So complete the application, file it tomorrow. We are anticipating City Hall is going to be busy tomorrow. Well, please complete your application, get it in. For all the people who are calling and complaining about this, please do it. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? I think everybody went. Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Madam President. I too would just compliment all the awardees that were here tonight, and I would yield any further time. Thank you, Madam President.
Well, thank you. I also want to recognize the 33rd Annual Human Rights Awards Breakfast. It was last Thursday, May 19th. It was just great. I mean, there were more than, I would say, 40 different individuals, groups, just one justice. So that was a lock, that category. And our youth. Amazingly inspiring stories, and it's an event that I look forward to every year. Just to reiterate on Mr. Becker, Memorial Day services on Monday, May 30th in the city of Schenectady, 10:30 a.m. at Vale Park, 11:15 a.m. at Veterans Park. Always very moving and very meaningful way to spend Memorial Day. You know, we all think about our barbecues, but it's really about stopping and remembering and thanking our service people. On Friday, June 3rd, the historic Vale Park Task Force is hosting a hot dog roast in Vale Park. It's from 11:30 a.m. to 1 p.m., and you can come down and get a hot dog and chips and a soda for $2. It's a great deal, and maybe reintroduce yourself to Vale Park, which is quite a treasure right in the middle of our downtown. I have a lot of announcements tonight. We also have Hometown Heroes 2016 banner ceremony, and that is hosted by DSIC on Wednesday, June 1st at 11 a.m. That's going to be at the Schenectady Armory. And Mr. Ferrari covered the Police Valor Day ceremony, so we're good there. And lastly, it was my honor to actually represent the mayor last week. The city has signed a pledge to have 80% of its residents participating in colorectal cancer screening by 2018. This effort is being guided by the American Cancer Society. And believe it or not, colorectal cancer is the second highest death rate of all the cancers, and is very, very controllable and with screening and early detection. So there's now a variety of ways to get screened. As I said at the event, this year is a magic year for me because I turned 50 this year, and my screening is already scheduled for June 16th. So anyone who has a year that is appropriate to schedule their screening, I recommend that you do. And now I will entertain a motion to adjourn by Mr. Kosher, seconded by Ms. Porterfield. All those in favor? Aye. Thank you. We're adjourned.